Hey guys, Chad Tracy here with another video. It is Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves, spending time with their family. I got terminated after 18 and a half years of service, after two officers had lied on me, and I'm here to tell my story. So that's what we're doing. Every day it's a new topic, and we're slowly getting through the story. After we get through the story, we're gonna start with the charges. Then we'll get through everything. But this is my way of not so much dealing with it, but it's my way of like getting my story out, and just being honest. I feel like I have to tell it, and that's why we're here. Because I don't feel like I'm receiving justice. I feel like I'm an inmate. Unfortunately, I know how inmates feel now, which I always, kind of understood anyways, but I understood now. I understand now more than ever. So we're here, right? So we're getting back. We're getting back with the IVP. At this time, some guys are posting stuff on Facebook about a rat in the main. They're misinformed about what happened about it, as far as when they were cooking and stuff like that, who was telling and all that. They later found out who it was, which I'm gonna get into all that also, which is probably gonna be either this time or next time around. So yeah, they're posting rats on there, and like somebody was telling on them and this, that, and the third. So I was put back on my job because I was pulled and put back on December 1st, 2017. Now on December 4th, 2017, I was sitting in an ODR, a couple other people, my partner, and like 2 or 3 other officers. We always sat at the back table, closest to the ramp. So we're in kind of direct vision of the head ITI, and she has witnessed every little single thing coming from everybody, from whether it be the majors or lieutenants or sergeants or other officers, in regards to everything in the jail, not just my situation. She witnessed a lot, and she even went up and told the administration about a lot. And that's when Pretty Boy, or excuse me, the administrator pretty much told her, kicked her out of the office, told her pretty much like he's not beat, so on and so forth. He wasn't a good person to talk to. Don Juan, snake in the grass. He wasn't a good guy to talk to. It was very rare that he had your back after he spoke on something. If he felt like he was going to get in trouble, he rescinded it or took it back and acted like he never said it. That's what kind of person he was, and that's why I refer to him as snake in the grass, and that not having a backbone, because that's what it was, I guess. I guess you can live with yourself when you're doing that stuff to people. I don't live like that. I'm as honest as they come, and I'm telling my story. And if anybody had anything to do with my termination or the harassment, I'm putting them out there. Trust me, I could be putting a lot of more people out there in regards to every other situation that happened in the jail, but that's not what I'm about. It happens to do with my situation only, and that's all I'm really interested in. So, I'm sitting there, at the lunch table at 8:40 a.m. We usually have our lunch, probably start breaks. I don't even know, I forget, after school movement in the jail. The inmates have school, rec. They had school, and that consists of the school area for college classes or to get their diploma, or they went out to metal shop, or we had sewing department at one point. And then after that, they could go up to the library. After that, we ran was a rec yard, whether it was inside the jail. They would go out to the rec area, and that consists of like basketball nets and all that kind of stuff. They could do pull-ups and push-ups and all that kind of crazy good stuff, or just sit there and chill out and bullshit and talk. It was almost like a gym floor, almost like in a school area, in a regular high school. That's almost what it consisted of. And inmates were locked in there, and there was an officer locked in behind the gate. He was watching everything. If there was fights or something like that, obviously he would call, or there's cameras in there, or Central would say it, Center would say it, guys in Center. So, I was sitting down around 8:40 a.m. on December 4th. That's when the IVP came walking by after, he wrote me up. And, at this point, he was trying to antagonize or intimidate or harass me. So he was walking by with his hands clenched, like a mean face, like he's going to do something, like he's a tough guy. But everybody knows, what happened to him at Trenton. So nobody really took this guy seriously, right? He definitely wasn't a fighter. But he was trying to antagonize me. The lady back at the head ITI seen everything. She was one of my witnesses. I didn't even really take notice to him. There was another officer that hit me, like, yo, why is he staring at you? I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even care. Like, whatever. Like, that's some baby shit. Like, I knew what he was trying to do. So I wrote him, like, pay him no mind, So, I went up to third floor, and so he went up to the third floor, wrote me up for the second time. The one lieutenant, the hell's his name? So what I feel like he was trying to do was the IVP was trying to get me out of the main to try to control where I went, so he could say that he did it, and he was a man, and this, that, and the third. He tried every way possible to get me out. I think at one point, and I'm not speaking highly of administration at all, but I think the two individuals probably seen the other two administrators that were up there. I had probably seen and read between the lines, what this officer was doing. But unfortunately, Snake in the Grass, Administrator Snake in the Grass, didn't say it that way, because obviously he was doing what he had to do to get me terminated, right? I feel anyways. It's not proven, but that's what I feel personally. So Lieutenant Humpty Dumpty called me to Center, and he told me I was pulled after that special. I was like, why am I pulled? There's no keep separate status in the state of New Jersey. Why are you pulling me? Like, you guys are blatantly harassing me now, and like, what's gonna happen? Everybody, like, they seen I was getting upset, and I was told by a person that there was a EAW or some kind of referral service that I could talk to, almost like psychiatry or something like that. That was never ever, and I know I'm that's not the correct name, and I know I'm mispronouncing it, but it was a someone I could talk to, that would listen, and it was for officers, but I was never referred to it by any administrators or any majors or lieutenants or sergeants or other officers for that matter. My PBA rep at the time didn't offer it. And mind you, he wouldn't offer it because he was so tight with Snake in the Grass. So there was a lieutenant that called me by the time I went back to Center. By the time I went to Center, so I went to Center, told I was pulled. There was another lieutenant that went in there. I'm like, and I started questioning. And Lieutenant Ryan said to me, he said, Trace, you're not pulled no more. Go back to your post. You're fine. We'll take care of all of it. Like, you're not pulled anymore. So it took another lieutenant to take charge of what was going on. Sorry, guys. And I was obviously put back on post. So that was the 4th. Then on the 7th, December 4th, 2017, a whole nother incident happened, 8:30 a.m. I was sitting at the same table as I always did, as we always did. My partner, 2 or 3 other officers. He went by again, staring at me, like trying to intimidate me. I just laughed at this point. I looked right at his face and just started laughing, like, come on, really? Like, you think you're gonna provoke me, but you're not. So, he did the same exact thing, squinting his eyes, his mouth was real tight. He had a mean face on, hands clenched, like real aggressive, like walking, like, he was going to do something. It was just almost like a daily thing with him, like him trying to provoke me or do something. But yet he was the one writing me up every time he did something. I just laughed. Like, are you kidding me? Like, really? But I should have known better, guys. I should have, they tend to believe the first person that writes things up. And I never did that. Like, I wrote up one person when I started there, probably about 6 months into it. And I never wrote anybody else up until until I got terminated. Because I didn't believe in writing up officers. Like, I believe that if you can't get along, you just don't talk. That's the way it is. So, moving forward, I got pulled to, actually, I didn't get pulled. I was still back in my same place. The IVP was slandering my name over to jail, saying I was saying this, saying that, and I kept my mouth shut. I had a lot of friends in there, and they all pretty much had my back in regards to pretty much everything that was going on. So I was, I guess on December 12th, 2017, I was interviewed by Jennifer Colucci. I became very upset. I started crying there because, at this time I knew that it was getting more and more, right? And it just started becoming very, very frustrating, guys, when you're talking to people and trying to ask for help and nobody's providing that. I literally started crying to Jennifer and nothing was done. She did not report anything. She did not ask me or refer me to go talk to somebody. Nothing. That's why I say when you have EED, and that's a part of corrections, right? They still answer the same person, which is whoever her supervisor is, which is then in turn the commissioner. They're all tied to the commissioner's office, right? So they all answer the same person. Unless you go up to the state level, which that's where you have to go, which is EEOC. And when they find no cause of action, or if they do, that's when you got to escalate it to the feds. And you go up to the federal level. And, that's what a person had to do. So what they were doing was they were retaliating against somebody else, a female in there that was tied to me. And she had to go, she went to EED, no cause of action, bam. But she followed procedure, protocol, as usual. Nothing was done about it. She had to go up to the state level, had the state level come in to investigate it, along with her her attorney, and everything mysteriously stopped. And that was on Humpty Dumpty, Lieutenant Humpty Dumpty, and that was on the administrator, Snake in the Grass. And how are you guys picking on ladies that are tied to me and starting to harass them because of that? That's some weak shit. Like, that's weak. If you guys, that's almost like me retaliating against your wife or your girlfriend because I can't get to you. Like, Who does that? Cowards do that. That's what they are. They're cowards. All because she had to get medication every single day, and she wasn't able to bring it in. And whatever kind of med it was, he even asked, Lieutenant Humpty Dumpty actually had the balls, the audacity, to ask what kind of meds that person was on. Like, are you seriously asking that? Like, really? And then, she had to do specials every single time. Like, come on, really? And it's medically related. She had to get her meds and blah, 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 blah. But they still did it. Well, you need a doctor's note to do it. You have to go outside. But meanwhile, if you were tied to the administrator, if you were tied to Lieutenant Humpty Dumpty, like the good old boys, the guy's wife that was always cheating on him, he was always going outside whenever he chose to. He was always not getting in trouble. He actually didn't get in trouble most recently in Garden State when he sprayed mace at inmates as he ran by. And the inmates were no problem whatsoever. Everything was on camera, but nothing was done. So you guys may want to check into that incident. But, here we are, and you got these guys picking on a girl that has nothing to do with my situation, but they were bringing her into it. But that's what I'm telling you guys. Like, that's what they do in there. And that's what happened. So, what happened was, I went to go talk to Jennifer Colucci, and, she didn't help me. She was part of EED, which is EOC on the street. I told him that, that the IVP was fabricating, like, stories against me, so on and so forth, and I couldn't do anything about it. Then approximately, after that had happened, approximately 11:20 a.m., I was called to Center Control, where Lieutenant Humpty Dumpty asked me, I called him, I called him to see if I can go out to my car. And I just wanted to let him know where I was in case, he was looking for me. He would not get on the phone. And, so that's when I walked into the, I walked into the two majors' office and talked to both majors. And then all of a sudden, since I walked into the major's office, Humpty Dumpty wanted to know what was going on, what was going on. So I ended up telling him what happened after. But on December 12th, that was approximately 1 p.m., I spoke to Major Pretty Boy, which is an excellent guy. I requested to go to Dep Corps, where I could be, pretty much left alone. I was there with another officer, and the major two specials from December 4th and from December 7th, 2017, because I did, specials on both those days that the IVP had said I was whatever. I don't even know what the hell he says. It's all bullshit made up, because I was just sitting there and the officer had tapped me, said, "What's he staring at you for?" I don't even know. And so I did specials, pretty much telling like, hey, this guy's harassing me and nothing's being done. So I asked him if he could, put me in Center Control or, put me out to Dep Corps detail. And he said, you're a bidded officer. I can't do that. I just can't, pull you out of your bid and put you somewhere else. He said, that's because of, the union stuff. I said, come on, Major, really? I said, we're going to play this game? We're really going to play this? And he's like, what? I said, you do it for other officers, and I named specific names. The one is she's a sergeant. Real good people. And then I know I had named another officer, and her name was Officer Manhands. So I asked, what's the difference? Well, I know what the difference was. They were women, right? So he said, he told me, he said, follow me to my office. So I followed him to his office, and I sat down, and that's when the other major was there, and I started to talk. I said, listen, can I talk to both of you, so on and so forth. And he says, the one major, pretty boy, was cool. The other major wasn't trying to have it. I have an emergency at my house. I can't deal with this bullshit now, and so on and so forth. So he tried to leave, but the other major said, no, listen, I want you here. So, and they said, can't you work in AdSeg? I replied, no, because somebody tarnished my name, said I was telling Uptown that I called Uptown and told them that they were eating, even though I was eating with them. And that was the whole AdSeg bullshit. And I just didn't feel comfortable out there at the time. Although they're not bad dudes, they're all excellent dudes out there. I just felt like everybody was against me. It was just better off that I'm dealing with one thing in the main. And they told me long before, come out to AdSeg, you'll be fine. Don't fucking worry about it. Everything will be good. I just didn't feel comfortable being put out there because I had so much stress on me from what happened with myself and the IVP. And I asked to be put out in I-Wing. And I started crying. I was crying because, I was emotionally, like, upset, distraught, stressed out. Because I felt like my credibility, everything I've worked for, the integrity was gone. Just everything. Like, it kills you as a person when you take pride in yourself and you shave every day and you take pride in your uniform, you're pressed. You take pride in everything you do. And then you got people that are trying to hurt you, for everything that you stood for. That's it. Now it's embarrassing, So, I told him I told you guys I was, I started to cry. I told him the reason why that I was trying to leave the building. I don't trust like 5 or 6 other officers that were also, and I named them specifically, and I have them in my report. I'm not going to get into the names, but one of the names I did say was the second officer that lied on me. And I just felt like, at that time that they were gonna lie on me again to get me terminated. I don't think I received the charges as of yet, or I received it. It was like 45 days later from the first incident that I received the first set of charges, which was 30 days and 30 days. But I was under the impression for some reason that you can't get charged by 2 entities for one incident. But I guess it's factual, because I guess if you say that if you call someone or allegedly call someone a pussy or a faggot, then you allegedly threaten them on top of it. They can break that incident apart into 2 different separate entities and charge you 2 different times. I was told that it's not possible, it's not feasible. But if it's not possible, if it's not feasible, then I don't know. I don't know. I'm still kind of questioning everything today. I don't know if anybody has any answers on that. That's very, very knowledgeable. Please reach out. Please. You know what? I'm going to go live tonight, guys. I'm going to go live around 9 o'clock. And it's Easter. I'm going to go 9 o'clock Easter tonight on Easter. Because somebody said that they got the days messed up. Or I did. But I'm going to say tonight, I'm going to post it. 9 o'clock, going to go live. Anybody has any questions or anybody wants to make comments or give me information on anything, please be there. I'm there. I want to go live. I want to, let's do this. So here we are. So, we both go up to the Mr. Administrator's office, Mr. Snake in the Grass, and he tells us to have the seat. The one major, pretty boy, or the good major, let's just say, asked the administrator if we could talk. We got some things that we got to talk about, and that's when one of the times, well, one of many times that the administrator was having lunch with a certain female, and he was very, very pissed off because they're having a one-on-one time and so on and so forth. They had to break it up, and they couldn't have lunch together, so they had to push everything aside. And that lady had to leave. Although I have nothing against her, she was actually a very, very good person. It's just unfortunate that she's part of all this, or any of this, because who she was associated with. And I'm not just going after her. It's because of, obviously the administrator, that she was very, very friendly with. Let's just put it that way. He said pretty much, the administrator, this better be good. I'm, not eating my lunch because of this, and so on and so forth. So the one major, and mind you, the majors didn't really get along with the administrator. And what was going on initially was that they wanted to know why I was going up to his office so much. Not just so much them, but some of the other lieutenants. And I explained to him that they had a open door policy because they were so against him. And maybe that's where I went wrong too, guys, because, when you have the two majors, which I didn't really get along with the one I respect, but when you have the majors not getting along with the administrator, but the administrator's accepting you in, the only thing that could come out of that was a bad situation. So eventually what ended up happening was the one major was pissed off at me, didn't like me at all. And then you had another major, and maybe that major didn't like me because, he was in, he did a lot of pills, or he did a lot of like meds. I don't know. But I would find that interesting. So, he explained, the one good major had explained, and mind you, I'm going to rewind a little bit, guys. When I initially broke down in the major's office, there was just the two majors and myself, right? There was only two majors and myself that were in there. So just remember that, because it's going to come up again. And maybe you guys can put two and two together, because like I've said, that these individuals were all friends. They were all tight. They were all from the same part of town, or from the same area, what have you, whatever. Or they just didn't like me, whatever. But I had a lot more friends in there than enemies, that's for sure. But so he had told the one major, pretty boy, had told Snake in the Grass, the administrator, that hey, listen, this is the problems that's going on with Tracy. This is what's going on between him and the IVP. He wrote him up, blah 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 blah. He keeps on doing this, doing that. He just gave me two specials, of the incident. And he, the major expressed his concerns about the IVP potentially lying on me even more, as he was. I then requested to go out on an outside detail. That's when the Snake in the Grass, the administrator, had said, "Get the fuck out of my office. This is fucking bullshit." And he was like irate. Like, I've never, ever, ever seen him so upset. Now, maybe it was because the major's coming forth now and telling this and saying it to him and putting it on record, and I'm there. And then maybe that's why he got so pissed off. Because mind you, guys, if you guys want to rewind a little bit, I had told the administrator that I was having problems with certain sergeants, right, and some lieutenants. And he said, all right, well, make sure, chain of command first. You go through what you got to do. And, then if it doesn't happen, then you come up to me. So I did. I did exactly that. But now I was with, another officer. And I guess he didn't like that I brought the majors into this situation because they didn't like each other at all. Or maybe not, maybe towards the end they did or what have you. But initially, they didn't like each other at all. Because they probably knew that he was a snake. Everybody knew he was a snake. Even his own people, where he came from, and I forget, Bayside, Southern States, Southwoods, whatever it was, he came through. They didn't like him down there. So, usually if you're a good major, if you're a good supervisor, word gets around the state pretty fast. People make calls, right? And they find out the information. They find out the goods on you. And it's all good, right? It's almost like Lieutenant Snail when he talked about the deputy commissioner. She's with us, but she's got her own issues going on. When she first came into Wagner, he spread around all her dirt. Who she was married to and blah, 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 and all this other bullshit. Because he wanted to leave everybody with a bad taste in their mouth. So that's just reinforcing what I said, that you can call around the state to find out people's business. And that's exactly what happened to that particular major. And that's what happened probably with these majors. They did their homework on this guy. And they were like, yo, this guy's a snake. Me not knowing any better because, unfortunately, I didn't, I got a big heart and I feel like, nobody's out to get you, right? But in this business, you better watch your back. That's for sure. It's always like you got to keep your enemies, closer than your friends. And that's what they say. But sometimes you can't tell who your enemies are because they're almost like snakes, because snakes will look you right dead in your eye and still bite you, right? But what happens when the dog, cowers down and all, right? When he's done something wrong. Not a snake. They become even more aggressive. So that's what you guys got to be, I didn't have that capability of deciphering at the time because I was so, emotionally distraught or stressed, harassed. They created a hostile work environment for me. So, he told me pretty much that, that he wanted a special. He wanted a special for me to go outside. So I ended up leaving, right? Myself and the two majors. The one major Coward, he left. He had to go allegedly take care of his wife. Whatever. I don't even know. And he wasn't hitting on nobody because he wasn't a good-looking dude. It's like almost like he would have to sneak up on a glass of water. Because that's, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even have any respect for him. Not that he didn't carry himself well in uniform. He was always pressed or clean or whatever. It was just his whole, him trying to go after me. That's what I had a problem with initially. Sorry about that, guys. Battery's going dead. But yeah. So, he told me to do a special. I got outside. The one major left. Major Pretty Boy ordered me. He said, you going to do a special? I said, I don't know. He said, I'm ordering you to do a special. So I literally wrote up a special, time-stamped it, gave it right back to him. Right? No bullshit. He then went inside and gave it to Gramp. Right? Talked to Gramp. Oh, excuse me. I don't even care no more. Whatever. Gave it to that administrator. And he acted like he never got it. He said, I didn't get anything. Went back and talked to the major, and he said, Chad, I swear to God, I gave that to him. he's lying and he's playing games. So there we are, folks. There's your instance. That same day, I confronted a major out on the front, because that's where myself and Major Pretty Boy was, and we were talking. I said, "Excuse me, sir, I gotta talk to this, because this is the guy right here that's calling down, that told people at Central that I called up there about the guys over in that seg that they were eating. So I have to go take care of something." He's like, "Chad, remember he's a major, and be respectful." I looked at him. I said, "This is personal, so I appreciate it, and I'll definitely, I appreciate you looking out for me." So I went over and said, "Hey, and this guy, we're gonna call him Major Pompous Ass, because he looked up at everybody like he was the shit, right? But all his girlfriends and all his wives have always cheated on him, and apparently there still are, right? So, matter of fact, his wife was the one in the administrator's office, and he actually had a lookout for every time he came on grounds. The administrator made the roundsman or the tower call when an outsider was on grounds. If that Major Pompous Ass came on grounds, he wanted to announce it, because that guy's wife was always in his office. We're going to end there, guys. So listen, have a happy Easter. The grind doesn't stop. I'm here. Anybody wants to reach out tonight, 9 o'clock p.m., we're going to go live. And listen, guys, enjoy your Easter. And we'll be getting into it more. This is just a start. I'm actually getting over this, my timeline. After we get done the timeline, we're going to add a little more. We're going to have discussions. We're going to get into the charges next. And then we're going to go into what happened on in-house hearings. Then we're going to go over the OAL hearing. And then we're going to go to the appeal to the Department of Personnel. So that's the 3 stages. The next is the appellate division, then Supreme Court, from my understanding. And if we have to go to feds next after that, we're going all the way, guys. And we're going to fight for justice, because I think I have enough evidence to pursue that. And with people stepping up and telling their story, I appreciate you guys every day. I truly do. The guys that are stepping up and helping me out, I really, really appreciate it. And I'm actually getting chills, guys. I'm not even bullshitting. That, that people are stepping up and are doing what's right. And I appreciate that, guys. That says a lot about you, and says a lot about me, that, there's sometimes when you go through these hardships and things in life, like you feel like you're by yourself, right? And I've done a lot of self-reflecting during all this, a lot. And I just really appreciate the guys that are coming forward. I do. I'm not a big Bible thumper. I'm Catholic. I don't, I go to church, whatever, for the holidays, what have you, but I don't go consistently, whatever. I'm not here to tell you my life story with everything, but sometimes, things come out. What's said in the dark is always brought to light, guys, and I'm a firm believer in that. And guys are coming forward, and I appreciate you guys. I truly do. And I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I do. I appreciate it. So with that being said, have a nice Easter. And I will see you probably Tuesday or Wednesday next week. We're going to do 2 videos next week. And we're going to go from there. We're going to get into the next incident with the next individual. And no name yet, but he'll be receiving something very nice. You guys take care. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your family, guys. Most important thing on the holidays is family. Take care of yourself, and be good.